Chapter 25 of For Heaven's Sake, Little Talks to Little Folks by Rev. Gerald T. Brennan. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Maria Therese. Chapter 25 The Two Tears. The mothers of China tell their children a very beautiful story. Would you like to hear it? All right. Now sit up straight. Here's the story. It seemed that there were two tears, a big tear and a little tear. Well, one day the two tears went for a walk. They talked about many things, and finally the little tear asked a question. "Tell me," asked the little tear, "where did you come from?" The big tear thought for a long time. He seemed very sad. "Well," said the big tear, "I'll tell you where I came from. I was shed by a little boy lost his nickel. The boy felt so bad that he cried big tears. I'm one of those big tears." The little tear listened to the sad story. "I suppose," said the little tear, "that you'd like to know where I came from. Well, I'll tell you. I was shed by a little boy. I was shed by the little boy who found the lost nickel. When my little boy found that nickel, he bought ice cream for himself. The ice cream made him sick. The ice cream gave him pains in the stomach. Why, the pains hurt so much that the little boy cried little tears. I'm one of those little tears." As the two tears walked along, they couldn't help but wonder. One tear shed by a boy who lost a nickel, the other tear shed by a boy who found a nickel. Now, isn't that just like so many of us? No matter how much we have, we always want more. We're always shedding tears. We're never satisfied. We're always grumbling, complaining, finding fault. We always want something. We want this thing or we want that thing. If we can't have a certain thing, we find fault. We find fault with our parents. Yes, we even find fault with God. We forget that every time we shed a tear because we can't have something, somebody else may be shedding a tear because he has the thing that we want. Boys and girls are very often jealous of one another. Someone gets a new dress or a bicycle or a pair of skates. Then you want a new dress or a bicycle or a pair of skates. You become jealous of the other girl or boy. Your jealousy makes you unhappy. Maybe the girl with a new dress or the boy with a bicycle and skates wants something that you have. You may have something that someone else cannot have. Then what happens? Why, someone else becomes jealous of you. Yes, it's the old, old story. We always want something. We're never satisfied. We're always shedding tears. We are never happy. Who was the happiest boy who ever lived? It was the boy, Jesus. Jesus wasn't rich. Jesus was poor. Jesus didn't have fine clothes or a beautiful home. There were many things that Jesus couldn't have. Jesus had very little. Yet Jesus was satisfied with what God gave him. And Jesus was happy, very happy. Jesus knew that he had more than many other boys had. So Jesus was satisfied. That's just the way you should feel. Take what God gives you and be satisfied. Remember, your father and mother can't give you everything. Your parents haven't money enough to buy you everything. They do the best they can to make you happy. Learn to be satisfied with what you have and thank God for everything. You know, boys and girls, God divides things very well. God knows what is best for you, and God gives you just what is good for you. So don't complain. Don't grumble. Don't find fault. God loves you just as much as He loves the boy and girl next door. Remember that. After all, God is a good God, isn't He? End of chapter 25.